Greetings, thank you for checking out my video. I'm Toy Insanity. This is Liberty Insanity 5. Liberty Insanity is my Statue of Liberty collection. Today is Patriot Day 2021, the 20th anniversary of the 9/11 attack. So in this video I've got a couple of things that relate the Statue of Liberty to September 11th, 2001, the Twin Towers, and also the state quarter for New York that came out the same year. I don't know if we really think about that too often. So when they started that state quarter project, what was it, 1999? And they released them in the order that the states joined the Union. So New York was the 11th released. I suppose it was early. No, it literally says right here. Okay, we got several examples of that quarter. It was released January 8th, 2001. September 11th, 2001. The unthinkable happened. Okay, we're going to look at some cool keepsake pieces put out for that quarter. Some painted versions, and a couple pins. I do, a big part of my Liberty Insanity collection is pins, and a lot of them are art pins, and some, a lot, I really like the art pins, where artists interpret the Statue of Liberty in various ways, and then Hard Art Cafe pins, and then, of course, Centennial pins, 1986, the 100-year anniversary of the Statue of Liberty. I do have a couple here that put Lady Liberty with the Twin Towers. This one says September 11th, 2001 on the bottom. And this one says September 11th, 2001 on the side. This one says Enduring Freedom. And it's one of those class backs instead of, that type. But you can see it's the same Liberty. Very cool. Alright, so let's jump into these quarters, because this one is a pin. Yeah, so... Did you collect the state quarters? Even the U.S. Mint, they made like billions of dollars. You can read the Wikipedia on this. I think it's over $1 billion from people just keeping the quarters. I mean, they designed it that way from the start. It's like so many quarters were taken out of circulation because people just want to keep them. Collect the whole set of 50, or do all these artistic things with your favorite ones. So this one's very interesting. It is a painted quarter. That is the 2001 New York quarter, painted on this beautiful pen. Let's jump to this one because this is a painted quarter, the 2001 New York quarter. It's painted with the Twin Towers in the background. And gold-plated on the side with Washington. And it has a certificate of authenticity, 2001 statehood quarter. Congratulations, you've just received a genuine legal tender 2001 New York statehood quarter struck by the U.S. Mint. This certificate ensures that your New York statehood U.S. quarter is guaranteed authentic. Okay. Here's two more quarters. New York, the Empire State, July 26, 1788, the 11th state. As I mentioned, it was there for the 11th quarter released when they began this project. They're giving you two examples there. It may be showing the Denver Mint and the Philadelphia Mint, which is what is shown up there. Okay, that's cool. This is the same as this. This one came with this. I'll show you the limited treasure coin bear next, because this one is Lady Liberty as a plush bear. Currently, this is the only plush Statue of Liberty in the Liberty Insanity collection. Because I like it. I like the idea. I don't really like plush. There's one or two others I might get eventually. Currently, this is the only one. Gateway to Freedom. And I think that is... See, New York is the Empire State, but is the motto... I think the motto of New York is Gateway to Freedom. There's the authentic quarter sewn in. And this is embroidered. And this is very nice, very cool. You can still get these this day, about $10 on eBay. And there was competing lines put out back then. Quarter bears will get you something for each state with the quarter on the chest. I think the quarter bears, they might just have a pocket. You're supposed to collect the quarters yourself. But this is treasure coin bears. They made it not just a state embroidered. They made it the Lady Liberty, so I like this one a lot more. And you get the quarter with it. It says here, New York Quarter, the 11th in the 50 States Quarter Series, features the Statue of Liberty and outline of the state in the inscription, Gateway to Freedom. Yeah, okay. It's on all the quarters I'm showing. Gateway to Freedom. So what if the motto is for the state they put on the chest of these bears? I think that's a clever idea. You could probably in 2021 collect the whole set for, like $500. That's relatively inexpensive, considering. Anyway, Statue of Liberty facts. Liberty Island, completed in Paris, June 1884. Sculptor Auguste Bartholdi, and the height is 152 feet 2 inches. That's very accurate. Date of acceptance, October 28th, 1886. So October 28th, we'll do a big Liberty Insanity for Lady Liberty's birthday. I like that bear a lot. I think we got 2 more things to look at. Continuing Liberty Insanity with the State Quarter, showing the Statue of Liberty. This one, this is nice. There's a really good picture there. The 11th coin in the 50 State Quarters program, the New York Quarter, features America's most treasured landmark, the Statue of Liberty, superimposed over an outline of the state, a symbol of the United States and an expression of freedom to the people all over the world. The majestic copper statue was a gift from the people of France in 1886. The inscription, Gateway to Freedom, celebrates New York as a point of entry for millions of immigrants who came to America seeking the promise of freedom and opportunity. Incorporated into the state outline is a line tracing the Hudson River and the route of the Erie Canal. New York Governor George E. Pataki asked the U.S. Mint to add the line because of the vital developmental role of the waterways. Completing the design, 11 stars circle the coin, symbolizing New York as the 11th state. And these are painted examples, too. Both painted. Okay, these are the same certificate. So they're painted in basically the same style as the pin. But the pin they left, the nickel showing of the quarter. These ones, they painted that part white. You can say, I just realized, that's not painted. That's not painted. That is printed on top of the quarter. And they got it very crooked. Look at Liberty's arm up there in the torch. Yeah, nothing printed on there is lining up. This one, I'm much happier with. It lined up pretty well. Okay, now this one. This would be a cool idea to collect one of these for all 50 states. New York was the first. Hang on. New York was first settled by the Dutch in the early 1600s, only a few years after Henry Hudson sailed up the river that now bears his name, looking for a northwest passage to the Orient. In 1625, a group of Dutch colonists began building a fort and town on Manhattan Island. The following year, Peter Minuit, the Dutch governor, bought Manhattan from the Indians for goods worth about $24. New York has long been a leader in the political, cultural, and economic life of the U.S. It has been called the Empire State since before 1800, a reference to its wealth and variety of resources. Its many distinctions include New York City as the first capital of the United States, where George Washington took the oath of office as the nation's first president. The Statue of Liberty was the first vision of America seen by millions of immigrants arriving in New York Harbor. The United Nations, whose headquarters are located on the Manhattan Island, works toward a future more peaceful than the past. There's the capital, Albany. I'm still just blown away. The 9/11 attack was the same year the quarter came out. And there's the Twin Towers, and there's my beautiful Lady Liberty. Nicknamed Empire State, 1788. Happy birthday to New York on July 26th. I should start doing a Liberty Insanity video then. July 26th every year. Area capital, state bird, eastern bluebird, state flower, rose, state tree, sugar maple. The New York coat of arms appears on both the state flag and the state seal. On the arms, a shield displays a New York landscape with ships on a river, mountains, and a rising sun. A bald eagle perches on a globe above the shield. A figure representing liberty stands to the left. Okay. Figure representing justice stands to the right. The flag was adopted in 1909 and the seal in 1882. That's a great flag. And it, of course, is Excelsior. And what does that mean, like triumph or something? Remember Stan Lee used to say that. Okay, one more piece. This one features the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint quarter, not painted. And then we get some stamps, a little philately, stamp insanity, going on in the back. Check it. The unique New York quarter dollar features the Statue of Liberty with a map of New York State in the background. The Statue of Liberty was a gift from France to commemorate the 100th anniversary of America's independence in 1876. It was designed by Auguste Bartholdi with a framework by Gustave Eiffel, who also created the Eiffel Tower in Paris. The statue was built in Paris, then taken apart and shipped to New York, where it was reassembled on Liberty Island in New York Harbor. On October 28, 1886, President Grover Cleveland dedicated the Statue of Liberty at a special ceremony. Yeah, like I said, Liberty's birthday's coming up. She's going to be like 135, I think. The map of New York State behind the Statue of Liberty includes a line tracing. I think it'd just be great to collect one of these for every state. You'll learn so much. There it is again. Twin Towers. Water was about a development of state and opened up the interior of the United States to settlement. Henry Hudson, for whom the river is named, became the first European to explore New York when he sailed up the river in 1609. In 1825, completion of the Erie Canal between Albany and Buffalo on Lake Erie encouraged settlers to move westward and provide a direct link between upstate towns and the important port and industrial city, New York City. Yeah, that's just great. 15 miles on Erie Canal, Liberty and Sandy 5. Okay. In September 1609, Henry Hudson sailed the Half Moon up the Hudson River, thereby becoming the first European to explore New York. He was sailing on behalf of the Dutch East India Company in search of fable. Oh, yeah, Pennsylvania Dutch and New York Dutch. Oh, my gosh. The Dutch proclaimed the colony New Netherland and established the first permanent settlement at Fort Orange in 1624. The English disputed the Dutch claims to the colony in New Netherland. In fact, King Charles II granted the entire colony to his brother, the Duke of York, in Albany in 1664, and the English seized it from the Dutch. They changed the name to New Netherland to New York and Fort Orange to Albany. During the American Revolution, New York was a hub of activity. Nearly one-third of all engagements in the Revolution were fought in New York. The final military event of the Revolution was the British retreat from New York City in 1783. In addition, New York served as America's capital city from 1785 to 1790 and was the site of Washington's inauguration as first president of the United States in 1789. The completion of the Erie Canal in 1825 connected the Hudson River with the Buffalo on Lake Erie, encouraging both trade and settlement. In the Civil War, almost 500,000 New York men fought for the Union, having a considerable impact on the war. After the war, the state flourished. I mean, see, these were all written and designed for the release of the coin. This is crazy. Like, how can you talk about New York history nowadays without mentioning what took place 20 years ago? 20th anniversary today. Okay. The later part of the 19th century, immigrants. Okay. Ellis Island, Statue of Liberty. Franklin D. Roosevelt was elected he was New York's governor. He was elected president in 1932. Okay. Throughout the 20th century, New York City remained a major center for cultural and sporting events. Legendary baseball teams such as the New York Yankees and Brooklyn Dodgers played in New York City, while Cooperstown became home of the National Baseball Hall of Fame. Its Broadway theaters are among the best in the world, and New York also boasts world-class opera, symphony, orchestras, and museums. To add to New York's international importance, the United Nations headquarters is right there. Then you can go up to Niagara Falls, Ellis Island, and Statue of Liberty, Statue of Liberty, Statue of Liberty, Liberty and Sandy. Okay, there's a stamp for the Erie Canal. This stamp came out in 1967. There's a stamp from 1945 with FDR, and then boom. Very popular and well-known stamp featuring the Statue of Liberty. Came out in 1954. Beautiful, uncirculated stamp from 54. Okay, we learned about 1786, 1954, 1886, and September 11th, 2001. I've been your host, Tony Sandy. Thanks for checking out my video. This concludes Liberty and Sanity 5, and I'll see you in the next one real soon. Let me know if you collect them quarters. They're pretty cool.